What's up, y'all? Brandon with BC Talks here. So, a few weeks ago, I was on eBay scouting out romance comics like I like to do. And I found a lot of romance comics that was going in auction for a pretty good price. So, I put a bid in, I ended up winning the lot. And before I checked out, I noticed that that same seller had put up another lot of romance comics, as well as a few single issues that looked pretty interesting as well. So I messaged the seller to see if they offer combined shipping. That way I didn't have to, keep, if I won one auction and then a couple days later I won another one, didn't have to keep sending out packages to the same address. And they said that they did. So over the course of the next 3 weeks, this seller just kept putting out great books. And I was, they had me. I was bidding on all of them. And I won some of them. I lost some of them. That's how it goes on eBay. But I ended up with a pretty nice stack from this seller. So I have the package, the final package today, although I am continuing to bid on books from them. But I have the first package anyway from them that we're going to go over in today's video. And I also have, in addition to that, a book that I won in a giveaway from a YouTube channel that came in the mail. And I will go into more detail about the giveaway in the video as well. So let's go over everything that I got in today's mail call. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more comic book and pop culture talk. And make sure you give me a follow on Whatnot. I am a verified seller on Whatnot. And if you use my link down in the description, you'll save $10 off your first purchase. And it doesn't just have to be with me. It can be with anybody. As long as it's your first time signing up, just for new signups only, you'll save that $10. And I know I haven't done a live auction or sale in a while. I'm still trying to get my inventory, this organized chaos together. But I have been uploading every so often different variant covers that I have into the marketplace, bin area on Whatnot. And the other day, I did see somebody did pick up one of those variant covers. So shout out to whoever did that. I don't know if you're a watcher of the channel or if you just follow me on Whatnot, but I am going to be shipping that out to you this upcoming Monday. So make sure you follow my Whatnot to keep updated with that as well. I have some pretty cool and interesting variant covers in my collection that I've been uploading the past few weeks. So make sure that you give me a follow to stay tuned for that as well. Now, before we get into the eBay haul, let's talk about this giveaway that I won. So if you follow me, chances are that you probably follow Lunch Money Comics on YouTube as well. If you don't, you should definitely follow him. He's a pretty wholesome and awesome collector, and he really just collects for the fun of the hobby, and he's a big X-Men fan as well. You should definitely check him out. I don't know if you follow me, I don't know how you haven't heard of him, because he's pretty big in the YouTube comic book collecting space, but definitely check him out if you haven't. Lunch Money Comics, a few weeks ago, about a month ago or so, he shouted out one of his viewers that started a channel called Pockets Full of Comics on YouTube. And this was started by a viewer who found a pretty large collection of over 600 Golden Age comic books that his grandfather had collected. And he had just started a channel, again, called Pockets Full of Comics, which you should definitely check out. I will link that down in the description. But he started that channel to post videos of the collection. He's not a comic book collector. He said he's more of a card collector, and he wanted to share all the books, this awesome collection that he found from his grandfather. So he made a YouTube channel, and Lunch Money Comics shouted him out, and he also mentioned he was going to do a 50 subscriber giveaway. Well, because Lunch Money Comics shouted him out, his channel grew pretty quickly after that shout out, and he went past the 50 subscribers pretty quick. And I was one of those first people to subscribe as well when I saw the shout out. So I subscribed, and that entered me into the giveaway. I left a comment on the video to enter in the giveaway, and it turns out that I won the 50 subscriber giveaway on his channel. So he sent the book over, and when I messaged him to send him my address, he also he said he noticed that I was a Star Wars fan, so he was going to throw something else in the package as well. So I'm pretty interested to see what that is. I already know what the giveaway book is, obviously, because he showed it off, but I will show y'all. But again, I'm interested to see what the other thing is that he threw in there. So we'll go over that. Again, that's Pockets Full of Comics on YouTube and IG. I'll leave his links in the description. That way y'all can shoot him a follow. If you're a fan of Golden Age comic books, he definitely is the channel that you want to follow. Like I said, he found over 600 Golden Age books in his grandfather's collection. And I'm not a collector of Golden Age books, but I do admire them. For what they are. And there's some really great ones, especially I love the Superman one. So he's one of my favorite characters, as y'all know. So let's see. Okay, so the extra thing he threw in here was this pack of Star Wars cards. Y'all can see that here with C-3PO on the cover. So, look, a sticker and a stick of bubblegum in every pack. Alrighty. So, I don't know. Should I open that up? I might. I'll have to look it up. I'm not as familiar with cards, so I don't know if you whether you keep them in the pack or if you open them up. I might just open them up because I'm not a card collector and I'd like to see what the cards are. As a matter of fact, sorry to anybody that is a card collector. I don't know if this is not what you're supposed to do, but I'm gonna open them. I'm sorry. Because I want to see what's in there. So let's see. All right, so we have the Advance of the Tusken Raider here. That's pretty cool. We have Hiding in the Millennium Falcon. And they have, oh, that one doesn't. Some of them have facts on the back, and some of them have, I guess you would put them together to make a larger picture. Then we have A Mighty Explosion right there. And then we have Luke's uncle and aunt. Nice little scene there. We also have Threatened by Sand People. See if that gets some focus there. That one's not really focusing. There we go. We have, there's a lot of them in here. Chewbacca poses as a prisoner. It's a great scene. We have Ben with the lightsaber, another great scene. Another classic there. I like that one. I might have to see if I can find some sleeves for the cards. And I like that one with Ben and the lightsaber. I might put that one up in the back to display. This one was the Rebel pilot prepares for the raid. And then this one is the Rebel fleet. Another great scene there. And this one has it has an actor's profile on the back. So that's what I was talking about. There was a couple of them that had like little facts on the back. So again, sorry if to any card collectors, if you're not supposed to open those. I don't know. But I wanted to open them to see what they had. There's no gum in there though. So it must have been and there was no sticker. So it must have been opened already because it had the tape on the back. So it might have been opened already. So that that might have been irrelevant. But then we have the book here.
1 hour later, 2 hours later, 3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
All right, so I got it opened up. And again, I already knew what it was, obviously, because it was the giveaway. It is Swamp Thing number 7. This is the first meeting of Swamp Thing and the Batman. So it is a key. He mentioned, that the giveaway was in a little bit rougher shape, and you can see it there at the top. It is torn up there at the top. But it is a cool cover, and it is a key, and it was a giveaway for free. So, I'll always take a free comic book. So shout out to Pockets Full of Comics for the Swamp Thing number 7 and for the cool Star Wars cards as well. He threw that in. He didn't have to do that, but he noticed that I was a Star Wars fan. So thanks for those cards. I'm going to find, a couple sleeves, and I'll probably put a couple of those cards on the display in the back with the comics. So yeah, again, shout out to Pockets Full of Comics. Definitely check them out, especially if you're a fan of Golden Age comic books. All right, now let's get into the eBay books. And again, all these I won from the same seller. And shout out to that seller because they seem to know what they were doing. They sent all the books in Gemini mailers, which was a sight for sore eyes. If you've been following the channel the past few months, you've seen the books that I've gotten from eBay in my past few mail calls. They've been in very interesting, non-traditional packaging, I would say. They've all arrived safe and unharmed, so I can't complain on that front, but definitely not Gemini mailers. So it was definitely a surprise to open that package up and see a couple Gemini mailers. But this seller posts books every other day for auction, so they seem to know what they're doing. Well, I'll get into the single books and whatnot before I get into the romance comics. This first one is pretty interesting. I won it for $2.25 in the auction. It is the Animaniacs Christmas Special #1. This is from 1994, published in December of 1994 by DC Comics. And this is actually the first appearance of the Animaniacs in comics. And also the first appearance of Pinky and the Brain in comics. Now, if you're a millennial like me, I'm turning 30 this year, then you probably grew up watching the Animaniacs on WB Kids. That was pretty... it was one of my favorite WB Kids shows growing up. I really loved Pinky and the Brain.
Gee, Brain, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
I wasn't so much a fan of the Animaniacs as I was Pinky and the Brain. I really liked them more, but I do like the Animaniacs as well. They're interesting characters, very sassy and funny. Definitely my type of humor. So, yeah, that's a pretty cool book. The first appearance of the Animaniacs and the first appearance of Pinky and the Brain in comics. The next books I have was a 3-book Batman lot. I won all 3 for $3.36. So that comes out to about $1.12 per book. And it is 3 consecutive books. This is Batman 414. This one is the 3rd printing of this book. So this one was published in January of 1988, of course by DC. And a lot of powerhouses worked on this run of Batman. If you're familiar with this time of the Batman series, the covers are by Jim Aparo, who's a great artist. The script is written by the great Jim Starlin, who is one of my favorite comic book writers, and it has inks by Mike DiCarlo. So you can see that up there at the top, Starlin, Aparo, and DiCarlo. So there were some heavy hitters on the run during this era of Batman, and I really love this cover, this Jim Aparo cover here with, you can see Batman's reflection in the knife, and the girl down there scared, but you see Batman is coming to save her in the reflection. So that's a really great cover. Really great Jim Aparo cover. This next one is Batman 415, so the next book. This is I believe it's the 2nd printing. This one was published in February of 1988 by DC, of course. So these are all the post-crisis series of the post-crisis run of Batman, which again was the heavy hitters. Y'all can see that there. Starlin, Aparo, and DiCarlo, 3 of the GOATs, in my opinion, in modern comic book writing, I would say. And then this last one, I really like this cover as well. This is the 2nd printing of this issue. It's 416. It's the first meeting of Dick Grayson as Nightwing and Jason Todd as Robin. So you see that's Jason Todd down there at the bottom, and then Dick Grayson in his classic costume, which I love so much. By the way, speaking of Dick Grayson as Nightwing, I don't know if you guys saw, but Warner Brothers announced that their DC Studios, which of course is led by James Gunn, is going to be making a Teen Titans movie. So I'm praying and hoping that they're gonna lean more towards the Marv Wolfman series of Teen Titans, which in that case would make it so that we might get the Nightwing costume, the crazy one with the cape, or not the cape, but the I don't know what you call those, the neck coif. I don't know what you call that, but I love that costume so much with the blue and the yellow. It's like one of my favorite Nightwing costumes. And even if it's only, they do it as a joke, like they're at a costume party or Halloween or something, and he wears it, I just want to see Nightwing in that. So James Gunn, please. I've said this before on the channel, but James Gunn, please, if you ever see this, give us Nightwing in that costume at least for once. But again, this is the second printing of this book. And this is actually a Jim Aparo and Bill Sienkiewicz cover. So they teamed up on this cover. So that's an interesting one as well. This next lot was a 2-book lot, and I won it for $1.83. Like I said, these were great prices on these books. People were sleeping on these books and going for other bigger books. I went for the bigger books as well, but I wasn't getting those. Some of them were going for a little bit higher than I was willing to pay. But this one is 2 books that I won in a lot. It was $1.83 for both books, so that comes out to about 92 cents a book. Great price. I always take dollar books. This is Zorro number 2 and Zorro number 1. So the first 2 issues of the Marvel Zorro series. This was from that time, that era of Marvel when they were doing a lot of licensing, for different movie and TV properties. So there's all sorts of movies and TVs that Marvel did comics about. They have Dune ones. Obviously, they have the Star Wars ones, which I have a couple of them up there. There was all sorts of ones, all sorts of pretty much any popular Indiana Jones, pretty much any popular movie or TV show during this era. There was comic books for it from Marvel. They were licensing out everything. So yeah, I really love these covers. And the colors as well, the yellow and then the red with the yellow sun in the back. So yeah, that is, again, for less than $1 a book, I will take that all day. And now we'll get into the 2 lots of romance comics. This first lot was 6 books that I won for a total of $9.28 for the lot. So that comes out to about $1.55 a book. So again, some great prices. This first one is Romantic Story number 120. This was published in 1972, of course, by Charlton Comics. It is an Art Capello cover, which, if you know romance comics, Art Capello did a lot of the covers for Charlton Comics, and especially their romance comics. He did a lot of other comics as well. He was working hard for Charlton Comics during this time. But this one is interesting. It's this one's interesting. It's one of those ones, if you've been following the channel, you know that every so often we'll get a pinup in these. This one has a pinup poster of Bobby Sherman, which you can see up there at the top there. Now, I'm not familiar with Bobby Sherman. Maybe one of the older viewers on the channel can tell. Like I said, I'm a younger millennial. I'm turning 30 this year. So I'm not familiar with Bobby Sherman, but I am interested to see. I'll pop it open and show y'all the pinup. I always like popping these open. So let's see here. And I love the art in. That's one of the main reasons why I collect romance comics is the art. I love the art in them. But here it is. Love, Bobby. There it is. So anybody that's familiar with Bobby Sherman, I looked up his most popular song. It's called Little Woman. And I feel like maybe I've heard it in a movie or a TV show somewhere. It sounds familiar, but I can't say for certain. But yeah, I'm not familiar with him. But there is the pinup of Bobby Sherman. Another thing I appreciated from the seller was that the romance comics were all bagged and boarded. Now, I am obviously going to rebag and board them in my own bag and boards, but you don't often see romance comics bagged and boarded. Usually they send them, just raw. So that was nice to see. This next one is Secret Romance number 31. I love this cover. This might be my favorite cover of the bunch here, of this first lot. This was published in March 1975 by, of course, Charlton Comics, and it is another Art Capello cover, and I really like this cover. It's got that, groovy kind of thing with the hearts, and then it also has her with the bikini, and then, the guy with the Steve from Blue's Clues shirt behind her, and then down at the bottom, it's got them as well. And so, yeah, I really like that cover, another Art Capello cover there. This next one is My Only Love #1. And this was published in July of 1975 by Charlton Comics. Another Art Capello cover, of course, because he was putting in work for Charlton Comics. This next one is Haunted Love #2. So this is this is a series I haven't seen before. I wasn't familiar with this series. So it's like they're haunted. She's like, he's like, I'll never let you go. So he's coming back to haunt her after she's trying to get love after, I guess, maybe he died or something. So that's an interesting one there. This next one is Teen Confessions #80. I like the yellow in the cover. I like yellow covers. So that's an interesting one. This one was, these were both published, by the way. The Haunted Love and this one were both published in the same month, June of 1973. So, yeah, they were pumping these out. And Art Capello was doing work. I'm not sure if Art Capello did those last two covers, but he did do this cover. It is Time for Love #34, and I actually might have this one. By the way, this one came out that same month as well in year. It also came out June 1973. And this one is by Art Capello as well, the cover. And like I said, I think I might already have this one. I'm not sure, but I feel like I recognize the cover. Maybe it's just because it's Art Capello, and maybe he has another cover that's similar to this one. But I feel like I've seen this cover before. I might have that one already. But the last lot I have here is a 4-issue lot of Charlton Comics' I Love You series, which, if you're not familiar with the I Love You series from Charlton Comics, it's their longest running romance comic book series. It started with issue #7 in 1955, and it went all the way until 1980. So 25 years, not consecutive though. There was a couple years here and there hiatuses, I believe, but the longest running in total from Charlton Comics of their romance series was I Love You. And we have 4 issues in this lot for $6.49 total, which comes out to about $1.62 a book. So another great deal for these books. This one is I Love You #31, and this is going to be one of the oldest books in my collection. Again, this was published in November of 1960. This is going to be one of the older books in my collection. I'm not sure if I think I might have a couple that might be from 59, so I'll have to go back and look, but this is going to be one of the older ones. And for 1960, this is in great shape. I kind of want to pop this out and see if, it's still attached. It looks like it's still attached to me, but I'm going to slide this open and see. Let's see here. Well, these are in here tight. These are definitely Golden Age bags. I like to put my books, I don't know, let me know in the comments how you put your books. I put all my books in Silver Age bags and boards just because it gives them a little bit more room. So if I do want to pull one out, I'm not like squeezing it out of a modern or a golden, because the Golden Age and the Modern Age cover or bags and boards are a little bit smaller. The Silver Age ones are just a little bit bigger, so it gives you a little bit more room. Now, people say that they don't like to have that room. They like to have them in their type, is because if they drop or whatever, they won't get damaged. But I don't think it's not that much room that if they drop, they'll get damaged. Plus, I'm not planning on dropping them. They're all in boxes, which are underneath my desk here or on the top there, so they're not going to drop. But yeah, this is actually in really good condition for 1960. Goodness. This is a really great condition book. The only bad stuff with it is there is if you see at the top there, it looks like there might be a little bit, I don't know if that's caused from water damage. I don't know if you can tell. It's a little crimped up there at the top. Which, yeah, it does kind of look like, yeah, that is probably because of water damage. There's like a little thing there at the top. But yeah, this is a but the book itself is in great condition to be from 1960. Wow. Just like that, if you watched my haul, um, or no, it wasn't a haul, it was a mail call of the first appearance of M'Baku that I posted a couple weeks ago. That book was also from 1960, I believe, and that one is in really great condition as well to be from that era, or to be from that time period. So yeah, staples intact. The book is attached. Good centerfold. Yeah, this book is in great condition to be from 1960. Wow. Um, Shout out to the seller or whoever owned this book before them. They kept it in great condition, other than that water damage. But what can you do about that? Everything can't be perfect. Um, yeah, that book's in really good condition to be from 1960. So yeah, that's probably gonna be one of the oldest books in my collection. Um, This next one is from a couple years later. This is I Love You, sorry, number 77 from Charlton Comics. This was published in um, October of 1962. So just under a couple years later than that last one. This next one is I Love You number 77. Yeah, 77. Um, this one was published in January of 1969. There's a lot of word bubbles on this one as well. And then this last one, this is an interesting one. It is I Love You number 108. It was published in 1974 by Charlton Comics, which, if you've been following along, this is obviously an Art Capello cover because it was from that time period when Art Capello was putting in work for Charlton Comics in the 70s. And in addition to cover art by Art Capello, it features some interior art by Joe Gill, which, if you know Joe Gill, he is the co-creator of Captain Atom, Peacemaker, Judo Master, and several other Charlton Comics characters, which those characters notably were bought by DC Comics, and then during the Crisis on Infinite Earths event, which I have the issue here, they were ported over into the main DC continuity after the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. So, yeah, Joe Gill did some interior art for this book, so that's interesting there. A little bit of comic book history. And, oh, look, I didn't see that. This one has a word puzzle. I'm going to pop that open to see if somebody did it or not. And also, I want to point out the woman on this cover, she's for the streets. Now, I know that a lot of these are kind of, you could say that, but this one, look at the speech bubble. She says, "I want to have a little. Let's say I want to have a little fun before I settle down. I want to be," and at the bottom it says, "free to love." So yeah, she's trying to have a little bit of fun before she settles down. She's definitely for the streets. This guy needs to leave her. But let's see if anybody did the word puzzle, the word cross. And like, see, for instance, this one is in a lot worse shape than the one from 1960, and this one came out 14 years later in 1974. Like, look at the cover. I don't know, you probably can't tell. Maybe if I put it like that. It's like the cover, the spine is kind of crimped. It's got a lot of stresses and different ticks and whatnot. That last one barely had any ticks. Didn't have a lot of damage. This cover is like pretty damaged and whatnot. So yeah, this one is in way worse shape, but it's the newer one. Like, if I showed you this one and that other one, just based on the condition of the books, you might think that this one is the older one, but that one is 14 years older. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, somebody did do the crossword puzzle. You can see there. It's always interesting to go through the books and see, especially the ones that have stuff in them, like the crossword puzzles or the pinups. I like to pop those open and show them to y'all. But yeah, that is all of the books that I got in that eBay haul. And that's everything that I have for y'all in today's mail call. Again, shout out to Pockets Full of Comics for the giveaway book, The Swamp Thing #7, and for the awesome Star Wars cards. I'm definitely going to put a couple of those up on the display back there. I don't know if you'll be able to see them because they'll be all the way back there, but I'll put them up. So again, shout out to Pockets Full of Comics for the extra that he gave me. Didn't have to do that. He just threw them in there because he saw I was a Star Wars fan. So I'll leave his links down in the description so you can give him a follow on YouTube and Instagram. And yeah, that was everything that I got in today's mail call. Make sure you leave a like on the video and comment and subscribe down below. Let me know what you thought of today's mail call, and I will see y'all another day.